What's up, guys? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you from HTA RL, Hit the Apex Racing League, and this is round 7 of the Assists League here at China. Got Ozone Leaston with me in the booth once again. What's going on, Leaston?
Good evening. China. Obviously, let's not talk about real life activities at the moment, especially particularly in this country. But the F1 track in Shanghai is, I personally think it's a very nice free-flowing track, except for Sector 1. The first couple of corners isn't the greatest, but the rest of the track, I'm a big fan. Hopefully, we can get some really good racing tonight.
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of driving this track myself, with the exception of turns 1 and 2. Turn 1's not too bad, but it's that hard braking and downhill into turn 2 that really seems to catch a lot of people out. But yeah, it's a fun track to drive on, and looking forward to a good race as always. Coming off of round 6 at Coda, another epic race between V Rita and KCG. Rita came home with his third pole position and his 4th victory of the season. KCG finished in 2nd with his 5th podium of the season. Harry Cooper found himself on the podium for the first time, while Epic the Animal continues to impress. Hasn't finished any worse than 4th all season. Harry Saunders was 5th, Ben Gallagher was 6th, Maxie Wilcox was 7th, Charlie Sampson was 8th, Carbon Khan was 9th, Invictus was 10th. And then 11th through 15th were all DNFs at the Circuit of the Americas. Try and Catch, David Wallbank, Dan Thompson, AB53Mo, and Gad, unfortunately. And Try and Catch, unfortunately, that was his 3rd DNF of the season. He only has 1 less DNF than Feared by Gaming, who leads the league. So hopefully he'll be having a better turnout today. When we take a look at the driver lineup, we've got KCG in the Alfa Romeo. Arton Senna 1812 is David Wallbank in the Ferrari. AB53 Mo in the Haas. Maxie Wilcox in the Toro Rosso. Fozzie Wazzie joining us again. She missed last week, but she's here this week. McLaren. Sippy's going to be in the Racing Point, back on track. Q-Tip, the 2-time HTA Formula 1 champion, is going to be back in the Williams as well. V Rita is your current points leader. Epic the Animal will be in the Renault. Ben Gallagher in the Mercedes. Try and Catch. Renault. Nola Fima. Is that another one of your guys there, Ozone?
Unfortunately, he left us after Germany, I believe. I remember receiving a message off him saying he was going to leave, but I know he's not going to be leaving any racing. He said he just left Ozone and Ozone Sim Racing in general. But yeah, he used to be one of ours. No, he's not, which is a bit unfortunate for me. But he's still on the grid tonight, and it should be interesting to see how he gets on.
So Nola Fima is still the same Nola, just not associated with Ozone anymore. Interestingly enough, Ozone Nola, he did turn up in an IRL race last week for F2 at Monza. However, I'm not 100% sure he's still even in the league after that race. Him and one of the other drivers got into a many lap altercation towards the end of that race, with multiple incidences between both drivers. So Nola, it was his IRL debut, and I'm not sure that he wanted to be in the league after that, or if he was even welcome back. So see what happens on that front. But nonetheless, he's on the grid today. I got Callum Anderson with us as well. An 18-minute short qualifying session followed by a 50% race. And just to recap real quick, the point standings. This is the first time I've seen the points in a few weeks. I do know that HTA uses a little bit of an older points grid system from Formula 1 years ago. They don't hand out the 25 points for a win. I believe they're handing out 18 points for a win. Nonetheless, the point standings, as I was shown, is V Rita and KCG are tied at 87 points apiece, while Epic the Animal is in 3rd with 60 points. Ben Gallagher is in 4th with 35. Dan Thompson has 31 to his credit. But I was a little surprised to see that V Rita and KCG both were tied at points. I would have thought, given the standings, or at least the from my notes that Rita would have been the points leader, but as I said, they use a little bit different point system. I don't know if they award bonus points for any type of reason, but nonetheless, the two big dogs are going to be on track today once again, and Ozone getting back to the racing. I mean, we see that the KCG and Rita are tied at the points. Kind of hard to separate the two from each other right now on paper, but on the track, it seems like Rita's got the upper hand. He's got more wins than KCG, but KCG's got 5 podium finishes in 6 races, so hard to separate the two, I guess.
Yeah, and the worst thing for the pair of them is you want to turn up to a league race and not hoping, but you wouldn't mind if your rival, wherever you are in the championship, doesn't turn up for any reason. In fact, he just doesn't turn up for 1 week. He might be away, he might have issues with internet or something like that. So, but unfortunately for those two, they're both turning up every week, and, which is very good for the pair of them, and it should be good for us, because we should have a really, really good end to the season with those two level on points now. Obviously, very early goals, but those two level on points, we could be in for a really good end of the season.
And we're going to watch David Wallbank right now. I believe he's one of the first drivers out on a time lap.
Trying catches also on the time lap on the harder compound, the slowest compound of tyre. I think this is another case of the banker lap being used, as well as Nola Firma as well. He's started the lap on those white striped hard tyres.
Same with KCG, and KCG just went purple in Sector 2. But David Wallbank looks to be catching him on track. That's going to be the difference between the hards and the softs, and Wallbank just set the second fastest sector. I guess I should say fastest second sector. And as you said about the banker laps and tire strategy, what's the optimum strategy heading into today's race from a driver standpoint?
Well, do stop if you're starting on the softs, medium, that works. Can you push for the hards if you're starting on softs? It's going to be very unlikely, but it should be interesting to see what happens with the tyre strategy. Do people start on the mediums outside the top 10 if they're not getting into the top 10? Or do you try and qualify on the mediums or even the hards, as most of the drivers are doing as it stands?
And you can see the time difference between the soft tires and the hard tires as the times start coming in. David Wallbank, your provisional pole sitter, with a 132.3. V. Rita and KCG, 133.1, 133.2. So they're essentially 9/10 to a second off, just between the hards and the soft tires.
Interesting to see. Especially this track is known to have a little bit of rain between the Grand Prix. Very overcast conditions during qualifying. There's a bit of a traffic jam going on in Sector 2. Which is very interesting. Not that these drivers have sat on that. But back to the weather. It's very overcast in qualifying, which could help any driver. Depends what setup they're running. But obviously this track is known for a little bit of rain. The 2009 Grand Prix where Sebastian Vettel won in the Red Bull. That was affected with rain as Harry Saunders.
Oh, we've got contact on qualifying. Oh, big moment for try and catch. And, oh my goodness, I'm surprised the wheels stayed on that car. So there was a moment there trying to catch. It looks like one of the Williams. I'm not sure if that was Sippy or if it was Q-Tip. Actually, it looks like Sippy's in one of the racing points, but he's heading into the pits. Now he's coming out of the last corner. Big moment there. Try and catch, lost control of the car, and I don't know if the Williams lost control at the same time, but they shoulder checked each other in a big moment. Try and catch off into the frickin' fence. And he's going to dive into the pits here, and new set of shoes and a new front wing after that. And we see Harry's... Sorry about that. We see Harry Saunders has set the new fastest lap at a 1:31.709 to take provisional pole.
That was something I was about to say before you talking about the incident for trying to catch. It's a very good lap from Harry. He's about 6/10 faster than the Ferrari of David Wallbank. So should be interested to see what the people that ran the hards, opening lap on the hards, see what they do now. Do they go on to the softs or the mediums? Do they think that their lap time? I don't think it would be, but do you think that their lap time could be quick enough to stay in the top 10 and start on those hard compounds?
And we've got Fun Oreo on the live chat. Good old Anthony Johnson joining us once again. He says, what the hell? I can think, the only thing I can think of, there's a miscommunication between the two drivers on track. I don't think there was anything done there with any malice. Just a miscommunication between the two. We've got three drivers that have yet to set a time. Epic the Animal, Chaz Meister, which is Charlie Sampson, and Maxie Wilcox.
I think Max... I don't think he was involved, but I think he saw what happened with the try and catch, and he dived into the pits when he was on a lap. But his KCG, in fact, was third on the hards. We set 3 laps on those. That could do. So I think he might be pitting and putting a new set of tyres very soon for the end of this qualifying session. He's at 1:32.9. That puts him P3, so the fastest out of the hard runners, as I say that. The Force India Rita sets a 32.4, so the lap time on those hards getting lower.
And Anthony Johnson brought up a good point on the live chat, saying that possibly it might have been an internet issue. Try and catch his car might have looked like a ghost car to the oncoming Williams, and the Williams might have thought he could have gone through him. So that wasn't definitely the case, but good point there by Fun Oreo in the live chat. Always good to have another driver's perspective. And still waiting on Epic the Animal, Chaz Meister, and Maxie Wilcox. It looks like Maxie's finally out on an out lap. Now, he was handed a penalty point after last race for aggressive driving, and subsequently he was also involved in a Monaco race for IRL F2, where he was actually banned from IRL for the rest of the season before taking a driver out at the hairpin at Monaco. So,
he didn't tell me that.
Maxie's becoming a little bit of a hothead, it would seem.
I can't remember who you calling it, but what I can remember, I think he was very, very pleased with what happened with that Monaco race. But I think he's forgotten about it, and he'll move on and hopefully get a good qualifying session here in Shanghai.
For what it's worth, Monaco, I think, is frustrating for just about every driver anymore. Monaco is not what it once was. I mean, the glamour and the allure is still there, but from a racing standpoint, I mean, the cars are just too big, the cars are just too fast. They're too wide. It's just not even a proper street circuit anymore for modern F1 cars, unfortunately to say. We've lost Fozzie Wazzie. She did post a message in the PSN chat that she was having some internet issues and apologized for her car lagging. She's left the session. Car is still in it. It's currently in the pits. I don't know if she'll try and get back to it or if she's going to call it a day. We'll pick up Nola Fima, and he is currently 7th quickest on 1:33.506, but he's out on a new set of softs. See if he can improve his time.
Max has driven quite a tidy first sector. He was only a 10th off Harry, he was on pole, and 2/10 off David Wallbank on the Ferrari. Ran a bit wide there. So let's see, 52 flat middle sector, which is, I shall get to that in a moment, which is a 27.7, which is a 10th off Harry Saunders. So this is a very good lap so far for the Toro Rosso driver. If we can improve a little bit more in the last sector, going into the head, they need a break on the 100-metre broad. Take a little bit of that curve.
Oh, and he's going to dive into the pits. That's disappointing. He actually had a good lap going there. He's going to abort the lap, so we'll pick up Q-Tip. He's coming out of the hairpin now. Q-Tip, a two-time Formula One HTA champion.
There's Max makes it the Toro Rosso 1-2. In P2 with a 132.196.
And here comes Q-Tip. And he does not improve his time, unfortunately. Still locked in at 6 with a 133.327. And Fozzie Wozzie just came across and asked for another invite to the session, so she's having some internet issues, unfortunately. Ooh. And Harry Saunders, 131.294. 9/10 of a second over Maxie Wilcox's time. That's
quick. Let's just say that. It's a little bit quick.
It's also a little bit, for lack of a better term, a little bit suspicious. Possibly got away with a corner cut, maybe somewhere along the track lines. 9/10 of a second. And I don't want to make any accusations. I'll leave Viorita or KCG to let that be the determination for me, because if they can go that fast on soft tires, then, I suppose it's legit. But 9/10 of a second over his last lap and his teammate. Harry Saunders has showed some speed earlier on the year. He had a pole position back at Hockenheim, and Hockenheim seems to kind of have a very similar flow to it as China.
But I know from past experience with racing with Harry, he's in fact really quick. But sometimes does have a little bit of that bottle in him. He can throw away races. I've seen him in other leagues as well as racing. That's just a really good lap, that is, by the Toro Rosso. That could be Paul, but I have to wait for the other guys can do.
And I picked up Invictus. And I don't know if Invictus is having some internet issues or car troubles, but the car sounds really rough going down the long back straightaway.
Could just be the sounds of the Red Bull Honda engine. He comes up to the line. He's not going to get Paul. He puts himself
doesn't prove his time. 133.293.
Just behind KCG and Rita. Obviously, going back to Harry's lap. Obviously, some people are quite different in league racing. From my own experience, I know there's a few people that are very quick in qualifying, but they might not have the race pace like others. I remember myself being a little bit better than I was in the race than I was in qualifying. I didn't really put much effort into sweating out qualifying, so I knew that wasn't going to win me the Grand Prix. But that's still a very impressive lap from Harry.
And there's a little bit of debate there. Anthony Johnson came over. They say it might have just been the perfect lap, and he very well may be correct. That's just kind of caught me off guard to see such a huge gap between first and second, especially similar drivers, similar driving styles. But you do make a good point. Some drivers are better at qualifying than others, and some are better at racing. And we did get Callum Anderson was the one that finally came across here on the live chat. He was the Williams that was involved with the incident with Try and Catch, and he completely didn't see him. And I know Try and Catch had lost a little bit of grip and was down on the inside part of the track. So incident, no malice there. So Try and Catch has gotten back out. He's gone 133.709, which is good enough for 11th quickest. We're currently watching Nolafima in the Ferrari. Currently 9th quickest. 3 minutes left to play in the session. We got a lot of guys in the pits and a lot of guys coming out on the out laps.
Including the two championship rivals. They're both out on a set of mediums, so they think the softs are useless in the Grand Prix.
And FEMA goes 132.328, so good job for Nolafima getting up to 3rd quickest. So right now it's Toro Rosso, Ferrari. But we're waiting to see the times from the championship points leaders, Viorita and KCG. And as you said, they don't want to use the softs.
Unless they're saving a set of softs for the end of the Grand
We're going to ride on board with V Rita right now. And Rita, I mean, he leads the league right now in pole positions. He's got 3 pole positions to his name. He's got 2 of them in a row. Round 5 and 6 at Australia and Circuit of the Americas. Could he make it a 3rd one in a row here at China?
But let's say, Thunder Toro also has something to say about it. Max is about to start his lap. P2. Harry is going down the back straight on his out lap. To be able to see what these guys can do. Senna as well in Ferrari. He's on out lap. Mississippi is just popped himself into the top 6 in P6 for 132.6 in front of KCG, who starts his lap now.
Which Sippy coincidentally is also in a Racing Point, so that's the top 6 positions are Toro Rosso, Ferrari, and Racing Point. Here comes Villarita. He's currently classified 5th. See if he's got anything for the top bunch. And a 131.508 on medium tires. Villarita, so
I think we
second quickest.
I think we can call Harry's lap legit.
So
Max
Harry
is a 10th up in the middle sector, but he has got Invictus in front of him, which won't help.
See where KCG is on track. See what he does. Looks like he's currently in Sector 2. And Rita has retired from the session, so 131.508, so he's not going to improve on that.
I think Rita thinks he can't beat it. Max is unfortunately a bit of a mistake in the last sector on the curb, the next and that little chicane in this little section, I would call it. So we'll go again. 14 seconds left in this qualifying session. So you got Harry, who's still on the lap.
I'm currently watching KCG's. He's coming down to the hairpin now. Sippy's going to retire from the session, so his time's locked in at the 132.606. Nola Fima locked in at a 132.3. Here comes KCG. KCG, 3rd quickest with a 132 flat. So he's half a second off of V Rita.
Harry didn't improve. He lost out by 100th of a second. He was faster in the first sector, and his middle sector was identical to the one he set last lap. As Khalifa and the Mercedes pops up with a 32 flat to go P3 on the grid. We're still waiting for a few more drivers to finish last. Chaz Meister in the Red Bull didn't set a qualifying lap. Epic the Animal in the Renault car, the lovely banana livery. He's in the last sector on a set of medium tyres. Will he get a lap time on the board? Going into the hairpin. Woodbrick in second gear.
And Epic and the Animal, he's been a bit of a dark horse this year. He's currently 2nd in points. Well, 3rd, I guess, since the top 2. And Maxi's retired from the session. Here comes Epic on his one and only qualifying lap on the 132 flat as well. So that's 3 drivers that are separated by hundredths of a second.
Yeah, so Max will be the biggest loser for that last run of qualifying.
Here comes Invictus. He's the next one across the line and does not improve his position.
As Q-tips put it in the wall.
Looks like Try and Catch is stopped at the hairpin, so Try and Catch. He's invalidated his time and is now playing slalom on the course.
Yeah, so Max will be the biggest disappointment after that. He started the last minute in P2 and he's ended up down in 7th on a soft tyre with everyone with a through behind him all on the mediums, which won't help him at all.
And I'm not too sure what Try and Catch is doing. I'm not sure if he's having issues with his wheel or controller setup.
As he's just spun it,
and that's some internet issue there. He's back out on track. He's trying to get to pit road.
And he's spun it from losing the gravel, which is really an interesting one. Lap time ticking over 3 minutes. I know I was slow, but I don't think I've ever seen that in my time in Formula 1. It's just wanting him to slow down for going into pits. I think the game, no, he's just messing with us. He wants to make sure we're going to last the entirety of the 9 seconds left in this qualifying session. Looking a
The
good
stewards
qualifying
might have
session.
something to say about that after the race. I mean, qualifying's over. There's no sense in extending it any longer than you have to. So Try and Catch will be classified 14th.
But Harry Saunders on pole, a very, very quick lap on the Toro
That is his
Rosso.
second pole position of the year, so congratulations to Harry Saunders on that. So here's your starting order. Harry Saunders on pole. V. Rita starting in second. David Wallbank is third. Khalifa is fourth. Epic the Animal is fifth. KCG sixth. Maxie Wilcox is seventh. Nola Fema eighth. Q-Tip is ninth. Ben Gallagher is 10th. Sippy 11th. Callum Anderson is 8th. Invictus is 13th. Try and Catch 14th. AB53 Mo, we didn't talk much about him during qualifying, 15th. Fozzie Wazzie, I believe, got back into the lobby. She's currently classified 16th. And Chaz Meister, 44. Charlie Sampson did not set a time in the Red Bull. So, and Ben Gallagher did come over the live chat and said that there's no rain in the forecast for today's race.
Well, that's good news.
And Nola Fema has, interesting, he said that Ferraris ran the same exact lap time, so don't often see that.
So obviously, whoever set the lap time first would be in front. But if there's no rain, it's very cloudy this Grand Prix. As we're waiting for the drivers to ready up before the formation lap, we've got DSY Tech, who was starting at the back down in P18, who didn't take part in qualifying. He joined a little bit too late, so he couldn't take part in the qualifying session.
Yeah, I'm not even sure who that is. That's the first time I think I've seen that name pop up. Might be a new driver, might be a reserve. Either way, that's going to put 17, 18 cars on the grid, so another good turnout here for HTA RL. So here we go, formation lap underway. Harry Saunders is going to lead him from the get-go. Pole position for the second time this year. We'll see if he can capitalize on that, maybe walk away with his first podium of the season. V. Rita, your championship points leader, is going to be starting in second on the medium tires, and he's going to be looking to pick up his fifth win of the season. But David Wallbank is going to be starting behind him in the Ferrari. Wallbank coming off of a couple of DNFs. But he does have a podium to his credit this year. He's going to try and do it again, starting from the third spot. And Khalifa has proven to be pretty quick in the opening rounds this year. He did have a pole position back at round one at Bahrain. See if he can put some points on the board today for Mercedes. And Epic the Animal, the dark horse in the competition, hasn't finished any worse than fourth in all 6 rounds so far this year. He's got 60 points to his credit, currently third in the championship standings. We'll see if he can capitalize on that as he's starting in front of the other points leader, KCG. And KCG's got his work cut out for him, trying to work his way through the field and get up to V-Rita and hopefully get in front of him. Maxie Wilcox had a good qualifying effort, but it looks like he dropped quite a few places there towards the end. Nola Fema in the Ferrari will be starting in the 8th spot, and he's going to be looking to put some points on the board for them. It looks like we've got some internet issues between a couple of cars on track. Q-Tip, the 2-time Formula One champion, going to be starting in 9th. Not what he's used to. And Ben Gallagher, who's quietly worked his way into 4th in the point standings, starting in the 10th spot. And Sippy is going to be rejoining us again today. Sippy has been off and on this year with some of the races. He's also an admin for the league, so he's got his work cut out for him for sure. And Callum Anderson going to be starting in the 12th spot as he goes for a ride.
Yeah, that was an interesting spin.
Invictus making his HTA RL debut. He's starting in the 13th spot in the Red Bull. Try and Catch, he's been having a little bit of a tough season so far. 4 DNFs. That's not right. Try and Catch 3 DNFs to his name. And AB53 Mo also having a little bit of a rough season. 4 DNFs to his credit. Fozzie Wazzie's going to look to put some points on the board. I think she's still looking for her first points-paying finish of the season. And Chaz Meister did not set a time. And DSY Tech rounding out your 18 drivers for today's race.
Didn't Fozzie Wazzie pick up a point in Belgium, did she?
It was a good question.
As we're about to
It
get
was
ready
Spa,
for-
yeah. She did pick up a point in Spa. So 5 red lights. Lights are out. Time to run with you, Brong. And it looks like Rita's off to a good jump. He's going to have the inside line. And here comes Wallbank, and he's making a little bit of contact. And that's interesting. Wallbank's got some issue around those Wallbank. And that has caused a huge mix-up here at the back of the grid.
As DSY Delta, don't know much about him, but he's gone from 18th to 10th in a matter of a couple of corners.
And the yellow flag, sector 1.
Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Chasmeister under the back of 53 mate. Easy pickings.
Oh, and around goes Chasmeister. Looks like he might have had some help. Actually, that wasn't Chasmeister, that was Invictus. And Invictus might have had some help from David Wallbank on that one. And yellow flag sector 2.
Meanwhile, it's been a good start for Harry Saunders, starter on pole. He's had quite a tidy start in the Toro Rosso. Rita and that. So basically everyone's picked up a free position from the spin of David Wallbank. And we should be able to see what happens going down this back straight. The slipstream train is at it again. As Rita...
Oh, and Rita's going to the outside. He's going to try a crossover move, see if he can get underneath of him. And he's going to try and get the power back down. Oh, and he's not close enough to make a move.
Meanwhile, try and catch all the takes Carl Anderson. As Harry Saunders takes
and Anderson's going to try and take it back on the inside. He's going to push him wide. Oh, and there's another car that's very wide. That's Ben Gallagher, it looks like. No, that wasn't Gallagher. It was one of the Haas's.
As I think Max could fancy his chances against KCG here.
That might have been DSY Tech. It looks like he's lost a handful of positions. He's back down to 14th now. Sippy getting around Callum Anderson as they head into turn 2. Meanwhile, the battle back up towards the front here. Rita all over the backside of Harry Saunders. It looks like Wallbank is trying to make his comeback drive now. He's gotten around a couple of drivers. He's into the 11th spot after starting in 3rd and having that spin on the opening corner of all things. But there's definitely some internet communication there that was definitely some lag issues that caused that to happen.
It should be interesting to see what happens here, because Max is on the softs. Meanwhile, everyone in front of him except for Harry Saunders are on the medium tyres. So it should be interesting to see what happens. Can Max get a couple of positions before he goes into the pits? Or will he be blind? As Rita flies past Harry, going into turn 1, but not even turn 1, going down the back straight. So Harry will, I'm sure they'll look back.
Can Harry Saunders get it back, though? And it doesn't look like it. And that was without the DRS. The DRS isn't going to be enabled until this lap. So Rita out in front. And it looks like Wilcox. Actually, looks like he was trying to make a move on KCG. Now the DRS is enabled for sure. Surprisingly, the top 8 cars are all within a few tenths of each other. So just about everybody would have the DRS advantage if things stay the way they are coming down to the back stretch.
Try and catch is having a good race in the Renault, down to P17 now. On those softs, he must be struggling. And so the softs shouldn't be lasting too long. They should be gone by about lap 6 hopefully, unless all my knowledge into strategies fail me. They shouldn't last too long. The mediums should last about 10 to 15ish laps.
Oh, and try and catch 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. So his race is falling apart. Fozzie Wozzie has now moved up. And try and catch goes around. Looks like he lost the back end of the car. Yeah, it looks like he is struggling on those soft tires, and he is up against the wall, trying to get it going.
Meanwhile, his teammate, Epic Animal, looking for P2. Should get this moved under the breeze with DRS, and he does.
Oh, and look at this, Gallagher to the inside. No, this is Khalifa.
And
Khalifa trying to get a 2-for-1 deal.
KCG tried to have a look at Nola Fena. Former Ozone driver. But as the Ferrari runs wide, surely an opportunity for the Alfa Romeo to get a free position on the Ferrari.
And a
There's look
great
down the
move.
inside.
Oh, KCG going side by side.
So I think Harry Saunders needs to pit the next couple of laps.
Ooh.
Tires will be gone.
Oh, and KCG just got a little bit of a love tap there from Nolafima. Meanwhile, great move by Khalifa to take the third spot. I don't think Harry Saunders was expecting that, and the tires must be starting to wear out on Harry Saunders' Toro Rosso. The soft's starting to give up already, it looks like.
All the soft runners are struggling now. Max lost the position to Q-Tip. David Warbank's lost the position to Sippy. He's holding up Callum Anderson and BSY Tech. Callum Anderson wasn't a time there. I don't know if their contact was made. But up back near the front, Q-Tip could be the next car to overtake the Ferrari in the Hall of Fame. KCG, in fact, looking at Harry Saunders. Surely it's not going to be too long until the Toro Rosso dives into the pits. And it looks like he's going to get the move done. The aid of DRS will help him. Harry will tuck in into the slipstream. Meanwhile, Ben Gallagher's going to have a look at Max. A little bit very close, in fact, between those two.
Oh, and they bump wheels.
For a switchback. Bit of contact.
And that's Nola involved. That's a 4-car battle. 4 cars into one corner. It looks like Gallagher.
3 to 1 wouldn't have done well there.
Gallagher got pushed wide. I thought he was going to go down pit road just to avoid any collision with anything, but he gets back on track. Q-Tip, meanwhile, he moves up into the 6th spot. Khalifa, though, Khalifa's looking to get by Epic, the animal. Epic running a good, solid 2nd place.
I was going to say, Khalifa's in a really good start in this Grand Prix. Khalifa in Q2 seems to have dropped from a joint champs leading in the racing point in Reapers. This way Tech leaves the session. They have internet issues maybe, but can Khalifa sneak up to 2nd by overtaking the Renault of Epic the Animal?
That'd be a great run for the Mercedes team. Khalifa hasn't made all the races this year. We did speak earlier, he had a pole position at the opening round. He's definitely shown some speed so far this year. He's actually been a little bit of a victim, though, a couple of times. Finished 9th at round 1, even though he started on pole. He did have a 6th place finish back at Spa.
Unfortunately, I wasn't at round 1. I wasn't to be existent. But, meanwhile, Ben Gallagher has got the move done on Max.
Oh, and they're side by side down the backstretch.
We'll go down without a fight. They've obviously both got DRS. Ben just about colours in.
DRS slot open. Oh, and he's late on the brakes, and he gives a little bit of a nudge to Noah Fima, and he's going to try and get the spot back. And again, 3 wide coming out of that corner just wasn't going to work. Whew.
Ooh, and Max runs into the back of Ben Gallagher. That could be front wing damage as Harry Saunders pits at the end of lap 6. Oh, the end of...
Oh, and Khalifa did manage to get around Epic, the animal. I'm sorry, they're side by side heading through turn 2. And David Wallbank has retired from the session. What has happened to Wallbank?
That is at the back straight. There's a lot of debris there, and a safety car has been deployed on lap 6 out of 28 of this Grand Prix. That could help Harry Saunders big time.
It looks like Wallbank's car was off on the side here on the front straightaway, right in front of pit road off to the left. There it is.
After such a good qualifying session for the Ferrari, the AB53 Mo is in for a new change of tyres and a change of front wing. So this should calm the race down a little bit after a little bit of
So Harry Saunders could be the big winner in all this because he's the only driver besides AB53 Mo that's made a pit stop on a recent sequence.
I think this will benefit Max and the other Toro Rosso as well. He'll be having a free pit stop unless the guys in front do decide to pit a new set of tyres. It should be interesting to see what's
so we get a little bit of a breather after a really frantic opening 6 laps of this race. And unfortunately, we've lost David Wallbank. And as you said, he did have a really good qualifying effort. Qualified third. He had that incident going into turn 1, which I believe there was some internet lag, might have been an issue there.
As Rita, Khalifa all pit, so Epic will take the lead.
So Epic's going to stay out on the mediums, and I don't know, is that a good call? Or should you take advantage of the safety car?
You're going to have to take the advantage of a safety car at all times. You just pit when you want to. There's Hall of Famer and Max up into the pits. Max was in tyre need of a change of tyres. He was on the softs. So I should be interested to see how he's going to come up with this. We will gain a couple of positions. Obviously, TSY Tech has unfortunately left. Callum Anderson rejoined this lobby. His car isn't just on my screen, but not sure about that one. Hopefully you have enough time to join back into his race seat.
So Ben Gallagher, that's going to definitely shuffle the top 6. Rita is now in the 6th spot. He was leading this race, obviously dived into the pits for a hard set of tires. And Epic the Animal takes the lead, followed by Casey G. Q-Tip now finds himself in 3rd. Ben Gallagher 4th. Sippy 5th. And then the Racing Point of V Rita. Khalifa is 7th. DSY Tech is 9th. Harry Saunders moves into the 10th spot.
Yeah, so the contrast of races for the Renos. We've got PMP trying to catch down in P17 and last. Meanwhile, his teammate Epic the Animal is currently leading behind the safety car on lap 7 out of 28 for this Chinese Grand Prix. It's be interesting to see what he does under the safety car, especially when the restart occurs, which I think could occur at the end of next lap.
We'll probably do at least one more lap under the safety car conditions. And needless to say, I'm actually happy to say at this point we haven't really seen a mistake yet under the yellow flag safety car, which has been a par for the course for a lot of these drivers. Have been making a lot of careless mistakes under the safety car conditions in a lot of the races prior to. So far, no penalties.
Yeah, everyone's been behaving themselves under the safety car, which is yeah.
We see one of the Haas's there is Ghost, and that is DSY Tech, so he's definitely having some internet issues. Classified in 8th, car is Ghost, so he's not necessarily in control of that car. And interesting to see some of these tire strategies here in the back. We've got Charlie Sampson on softs, AB53 Mo on softs. Oh, and Sippy, there's a penalty, 10-second time penalty for exceeding the track limits under safety car conditions. Currently running in the 5th spot. And Maxie Wilcox has just come across the radio and said that Fozzie is lagging really bad on his screen. So Maxie Wilcox having some issues with Fozzie. We know Fozzie had some internet issues earlier when she lagged out of the lobby and had to get invited back in, so... And she is off into the grass. Not sure if she's just letting everybody go by. Possibly she knows that she's got internet issues.
Yeah, it's disappointing when you have internet issues. And you really don't know what to do. You just want to leave. Just get everyone making the radio and try and carry on, but it causes harm to the other drivers.
And the safety car is going to be in this lap.
So my prediction was correct, yeah, on the lap 8. So see what they can do. He's obviously slowing everything down to make sure he can get a really good restart. Catch these people on surprise.
And remember, no passing before the start-finish.
And he's gone.
And it looks like these guys are trying to run side by side as they come down the front stretch.
You can try to have a look at KCG, but this could help. Dan Gallagher goes down the inside of the Williams.
Ooh, and around the outside.
And
it was Q-Tip. KCG.
Went for the lead in the Grand Prix. Very close between Ben Gallagher and Q-Tip. Oh, and...
is that Rita? No, that's not Rita. That's Sippy.
And Sippy's lost a bit of his front wing on those hard tyres. A little bit too much scrappy there for me. And Ben Gallagher tried to take the normal racing line, and I don't think he knew that Sippy's on his inside. And that caused Sippy to have a spin and make slight contact with the wall. But KCG, a very good restart for the Alfa Romeo, who hasn't pitted so far in this Grand Prix. And, he's in the lead, he's overtaken Epic, and that's what he really needed to do.
And the top 4 drivers are all on medium tires. None of them have pitted. It's KCG, Epic the Animal, Q-Tip, and Ben Gallagher. Gallagher, though, involved with that incident just moments ago with Sippy, so we'll see if that gets reviewed after the race or not.
I think Rita might have a look at Ben Gallagher here down this back straight. Obviously, DRS isn't enabled, it's being disabled after the safety car coming in. You see it'll be back active left and left, I believe. Oh, they're very close there. Let's just let that lag on my screen as Khalifa overtaking behind the shoulders.
Khalifa makes a good move to get around Harry Saunders. So Saunders, you started on pole. See a lot of cars running wide there. Ferrari of Nolafima and Invictus, Chasmeister.
And that's one of them in the...
yellow flag sector 3.
And that's Sippy, who might have just gone into the wall.
Oh, and we've got a virtual safety car because of it.
Stop-start race this now.
So Sippy found himself in a relatively good spot during the safety car. Then he had the 10-second time penalty for exceeding the track limits under the safety car. Then he had a little bit of help getting put into the Armco at turn 2, or the turn 2-3 complex. And now he finds himself at the wall of pit road. So that race fell apart relatively quick for him.
If I was one to say something bold, I think these virtual safety cars are harder to get a better restart than the full safety cars, especially if you're going through a chicane or something. You know, it's very tricky.
I could absolutely agree with that. The virtual safety car doesn't seem to be much rhyme or reason as to when it is. And we're back to green. And everybody's in the middle of that hard right-hander leading onto the backstretch, so...
And I think Rita might have a really nice run on Ben Gallagher yet. I don't know if he'll catch up. He might have a look on the inside. He's having a look. He won't go for it, it's Ben up top.
Oh, but it looks like Khalifa was having a look behind Rita.
Max was having a look at Invictus for P9 with Ben Gallagher picks up a 3-second time penalty for pulling the cuts in. As Max has got a really nice run, his DRS is now enabled. He won't be able to use it. The Toro Rosso driver was all over the back of Invictus in the Red Bull.
Oh, and he goes to the inside. What a move by Maxie Wilcox. And Invictus is about to lose another spot. Oh, Anderson couldn't make it work, but a great power move by Maxie Wilcox to get by Invictus's Red Bull.
I think Max understood what was going to happen to Invictus. He knew that he was going to run wide, and he just swooped down his inside. As Callum Hansen does the same. Goes down his inside, and Invictus loses the back end, and the actor losing the back end has turned into Callum Hansen's tyre, so that means he's losing another position. Chasmeister, so Invictus, not a very good last few moments there. What can Chasmeister do? Can he get himself into the points? He's got a really nice run on Callum Hansen and the Williams. I think we'll wait until the main back straight.
But we've got V Rita now. He's closed in on Ben Gallagher. Oh, and Gallagher runs very wide coming out of the sweeping right-hander onto the backstretch, and I think Rita's going to make easy work of this.
He's got DRS as well.
So and Gallagher's going to try and run him down to the grass. A little bit of a side draft there. He's not going to be able to outbrake him for sure. Gallagher going to try and get the power down. No. And Rita's going to easily pick up that spot.
Both Mercedes got very close to each other there. So can Khalifa get a simple move past his teammate? Meanwhile, Chaz.
Oh, Chaz Meister puts the move on Invictus, but Invictus comes back. And now they're side by side down the front stretch, and it's a drag race for the 10th spot.
And the
every point counts.
We get the move come, I believe, but he's run a little bit wide. This should be easy pickings for the Williams. And,
he ran very wide at the middle of that corner, and Callum Anderson finds himself into the points.
Harry Saunders having a look at Khalifa. Is he going to go around the outside into turn 6? And he's going to have a good exit, and he's got the move done, I think. Yes, he has. What brilliant move that is by Harry Saunders in the Toro Rosso. The split both the Mercedes up. I think Ben was holding up his teammate over there, and that could prove costly. And Harry Saunders has gone in the middle of them.
Meanwhile, Q-Tip is now closing in on Epic the Animal, and V Rita is closing in on Q-Tip. So we've got a 3-car battle materializing for the 2nd spot. Meanwhile, KCG's pulled out to a 2nd gap over Epic, so that's going to leave Epic as the victim here, because he is not going to have the DRS. Q-Tip and V Rita are both going to have the DRS advantage coming down the backstretch. And it looks like Q-Tip's going to be a little too far back, but he's closing up. He's not going to be close enough to make a move this time by.
I think it won't be long until we see. And Khalifa has, well, he's obliterated the hairpin, and he's spun. Meanwhile, Callum, a try and catch, has got the 2-for-1 deal. He's started the hairpin in P11.
Oh, and around the outside, and he hangs on to it. And it looks like Ben Gallagher has finally dived into the pits.
Oh, that was a bit disappointing for Khalifa. I knew why he wanted to go for that move, and he just didn't execute it as what he wanted. Meanwhile, Rita is all over the back of Q-Tip and the Williams. This is the scrap for P3. Obviously, the top 3 get to pit in that 13 out of 28 of this Chinese Grand Prix. So, with the fresher tyres, it could be easier for the Racing Point of Rita to get the move done, but he is on the harder compound, he is on the hards, while Q-Tip is on 12-lap-old mediums.
And on that last lap, KCG lost half a second, really, to the pursuing cars. Epic the Animal is now within striking distance. He's going to have the DRS advantage when he comes down the backstretch. So we've got a 4-car battle now materializing for every spot on the podium, basically up for grabs. KCG, Epic the Animal, and Q-Tip have yet to pit. So Rita's really in the catbird seat right now, because he's going to be able to take the lead of this race once these 3 drivers decide to pit. Ben Gallagher did pit. He's all the way back at 14th. I think he was going to try and go for an undercut, but I don't think it's going to work if he's got that many cars to work through. Oh, and Charlie Sampson. What has happened to him?
I think he might have lost the back end on that curb before going down the back straight.
Pick up Ben Gallagher's car, see if we can see.
And I think both KCG and Q-Tip both going from pits at the end of lap 13. So
that's going to move Via Rita into the 2nd spot, and now he's going to try and make Epic the Animal the next one on his hit list.
Should be interesting to see how long does Epic go in this Grand Prix. Does he pit now? See if the overcut can work. Does he last another couple of laps? Do you think those tyres can take him to a certain point? He thinks the softs he can manage it. Move set, pressure soft tyres could potentially last around about 10 laps. You have to hold up these mediums to about lap 18, which is quite hard. It's not,
I don't know, 10 laps on softs around here. We saw earlier that they were wearing out around 6 laps, so Epic's a little bit better at tire wear control than some of the other drivers, but I think that'd be asking an awful lot to do a medium to soft.
In saying that, you did the drivers that were on the softs at the start of the Grand Prix, obviously they were already qualifying lap old, so they could potentially last those 10 laps. There's AB53 Mo actually, he's running in P9, very quiet Grand Prix for the Haas driver. He's on an 8-lap old pair of softs, so they can definitely last round about 8 or 9 laps, but I don't know if they could last the 10, which could be interesting.
Oh, and it looks like Rita's made a move. Oh, Epic's going in now.
Epic's dived in. Harry Saunders, in fact, gained half a second on the racing point, and now a race leader, Rita. Interesting to see where Epic comes out. Can he come out in front of KCG and Rita? Well, he won't be in front of KCG. Or will he? No, KCG's got that move done. I think he'll be behind Q-Tip as well, but in front of the Mercedes of Ben Gallagher.
And you did say that Harry Saunders had closed that gap to 1.5 seconds, but he's already lost 0.2 in the first sector. Trying to stay with V Rita. He's got the medium tires versus the hard, so he's got a little bit better traction, but V Rita has been really, I think, probably the best driver so far this year. He's very rarely made a mistake. Any mistakes that was made generally weren't his fault. He's been pretty spot on all season long, him and KCG both, really. So I don't think anybody's going to have anything for him, it looks like, for the second part of this race. However, Nola is closing in on Harry Saunders for that second spot, so could be Nola closing in on Rita altogether.
Yeah. Once Harry's lost a lot of time, maybe his tyres maybe starting to get a little bit wear now. Obviously, so starting their 10th lap on those medium tyres, the middle tyre. There we see the soft, medium, hards. He's lost a lot of time. He's made himself into the Ferrari's traps.
Meanwhile, KCG has gotten in front of Q-Tip. And Q-Tip just set the fastest lap of this race, and he is coming with a head of steam as they head into turn 1. We've got a 3-car battle here. This is Khalifa, KCG, and Q-Tip. 7th, 8th, and 9th.
We're going to see how these three end up, because this could be really vital for the Grand Prix.
Oh, and Q-Tip to the inside.
And you'll get the move done. Unless KCG
KCG tries to get the power back down. They're side by side heading to the next corner, and KCG is going to surrender that position. And not only is that vital in the Grand Prix, as you said, that's going to be vital in the championship point standings. KCG all the way down in 9th spot versus his championship rival, V Rita, leading the way in this race.
We don't normally see KCG getting dive bombed like that. Sent down his inside. Meanwhile, these three have converted each other, and Epic the Animal almost hard. A couple lap older than KCG. A lap younger, in fact, than KCG.
And you see Khalifa tries to sweep down to the inside, break up that slipstream.
As Ben Gallagher has unfortunately spun at the exit of that sector 3.
Oh, and Q-Tip around the outside, and the Williams puts the power down, and he's going to take the position from Khalifa. And Harry Saunders has just dived into the pits again.
This could be for us another set of mediums. He doesn't think the softs will do a good enough job, but those set of tyres should keep them until the end of the Grand Prix.
And that's going to move Try and Catch up into the 4th spot, right behind Maxie Wilcox. This is the best run Try and Catch has had all year. A polar opposite of what usually happens for the Renault team. Usually it's Epic running in the 4th spot and Try and Catch running down in 9th. And unfortunately, that is where Epic the Animal finds himself now, as Khalifa and KCG go side by side, and KCG trying to find a way around Khalifa's car. Epic the Animal in 9th, watching these two battle it out. Meanwhile, Q-Tip's checked out on that battle. We go back to the battle for 4th. Try and Catch is closed up on Maxie Wilcox.
This is the battle for 3rd, in fact. See if Try and Catch the other exit. We've really no DRS. But the slipstream and DRS will help. It's quite frankly overpowered in this game. So you might have a look down the inside in hairpin.
Here he goes. Maxie tries to turn in tight, gets the power back down. Great defensive driving by Maxie Wilcox. Try and Catch. Still going to have the DRS advantage. And KCG, meanwhile,
I think Khalifa could lose another position out, yeah, but he does defend it quite nicely on the outside of Epic. But try and catch did in fact get the move done on Max down into turn 1. But Max is not going to give up yet.
Ooh, and it gets very tight right here. The car wants to understeer really bad. But try and catch, getting it done, moves himself into third. A great run from try and catch.
See what his teammate Epic can do. Can he overtake Khalifa and get himself up into P8? This Miguel Perry Saunders is actually not that long ago pitted for a set of mediums. Khalifa 11 lap olds on those mediums. I think Epic could be catching up quite soon. Meanwhile, it's all quiet now. Going to try and catch. Moved himself into a podium position.
He hasn't necessarily pulled away from Maxie Wilcox just yet, though. Maxie's still within DRS range as they head back out onto the long back straightaway.
I think he's pulling away. He's got one lap younger and with the tyres. Those tyres might start to fall off the cliff. Might mean he might have to pit in this Grand Prix.
Max is coming with a head of steam. You see, trying to break up that slipstream as he snakes back and forth across. Woo! Last of the late breakers. Wilcox just gained a huge chunk of time in the braking zone on try and catch. So Maxie Wilcox is not done with this battle for the podium spot.
I think he wants it. There's the Toro Rosso driver.
And again, try and catch, trying to snake back and forth, break up that slipstream. He runs a little wide going into turn 1. And Harry Saunders just set the fastest lap of this race with a 1:34.361. Saunders currently in the 10th spot. And while all that is happening, Epic the Animal still trying to find a way around Khalifa.
He got very close there, going into turn 2. He's really close to him now. The gap in tyre wear, tyre rage has come in effect. And Khalifa lost 2 positions already. He's really in trouble. He gets a bad exit in the last sector, after that little chicane, the snail's exit at the last sector, he could be in big trouble.
And once again,
he could potentially have a scrap at Williams HQ. Cam Manson on the hards in P5, Q-Tip on the mediums in P6. Q-Tip has caught up to his teammate quite quickly, if I'm being honest. Obviously, he's on the new quicker and fresher tyres, and he could in fact go for a move here down this back straight. He'll have DRS, he'll have slipstream, and he'll go to the outside. This should be a relatively simple move unless team orders gets ignored. No, a nice move from Q-Tip. A little bit easy because this is his teammate, and he's up to P5.
Q-Tip into 5th. Meanwhile, Khalifa and Epic the Animal still side by side coming out of the hairpin. Epic trying to make the move, been trying to work his way around there, and he finally gets in front of him at the last corner. Slams the door, but Khalifa's going to have the DRS advantage heading down into turn 1. And Epic's going to be able to hang on to it. Meanwhile, the other Renault is still under pressure. That's try and catch, still being hounded by Maxie Wilcox as they drive through the ghost car of DSY Tech. Wilcox is now closer than he has been the last couple of laps. The ride on board with him through the sweeping left-hander.
These two having a little battle has helped Q-Tip massively. He's gained a lot of time on these two. Obviously, we've got far fresher tyres than the two in front of them, especially working hard and time catch on rather than mediums. I think we might be seeing try and catch his tyres go off the cliff quite soon.
And it looks like try and catch is making a bunch of little mistakes. He's cutting corners here a little bit, throwing grass around, running wide coming out of some of these corners. He might be feeling the pressure, the tires might be giving up. Maxie Wilcox.
One thing for sure, there's nothing wrong with chucking grass about, that's all I'm going to say.
He's up into 8th, and look, it's coming down the straightaway here, 203 miles per hour. And Q-Tip just gained half a second in that last sector on this battle, so a few laps remaining, and really Q-Tip could find himself in a podium spot. Wilcox with the DRS slot open though, he's within striking distance. Oh, and Epic just picked up a 3-second time penalty. We haven't seen that out of him very much this year. And Epic trying to stay in front of Khalifa. Right now we're still watching Try and Catch and Maxie Wilcox battle it out for third.
As Try and Catch runs a lot of curve there, the exit of technically turn 4.
And again, Q-Tip just picked up another half second in that last sector on that battle for the third spot.
This is also bunched up the likes of KCG. They're not that far behind. Callum Ansett is in P6, he's 1.5 seconds behind Q-Tip. KCG's only 1.7, the gap was bigger just now. And you've got Epic is 2 seconds behind, and then there's Khalifa and Harry Saunders, not that far behind either.
As you can just see how much Maxie Wilcox catches up under braking. And he is now under half a second.
Try and Catch is having a really good exit, especially through that long, swooping right-hander.
That seems to be his best strong point as he tries to stay out in front.
From the next three. I think the exit of the corners will be helping Try and Catch the remainder of this Grand Prix. Will holds out on the mediums as Maxi Fax runs wide. As they start like 22 over 28.
And Q-Tip is now less than 2.5 seconds behind. Wilcox to the outside.
I think he'll have
See if he can pull a similar move. He's going to do it, just like he did to Invictus earlier. And a great move by Maxie Wilcox to take that spot back.
And Try and Catch, in fact, losing the back end there. I think his tyres might be close to gone. As Max moves himself over the P3.
Yellow flag sector 2.
There's only 2 drivers in sector 2, and that's the 2 out in front. Obviously, 8.8 is the gap between them. Meanwhile, KCG. Oh, Callum Ansett the spun. That might have been why the other flags were out. 15 lap old medium tyres, same as the top 3, in fact. So that's why there was yellow flags. So that means Harry Saunders, Khalifa, Epic, and KCG all picked up a free position. Now it's looking really good for Williams. Let's have a really tidy result. But there's a freeway scrap for P7.
Try and Catch is now caught back up to Maxie Wilcox. He's got the DRS coming down the backstretch. Wilcox trying to snake his way. Here goes Try and Catch to the outside. They bang wheels just a little bit. Wilcox is going to try and outbrake him. And a crossover move by Try and Catch as he tries to get the power down. He make a little bit of contact on the side pod.
No, I think Try and Catch lost the back end a little bit there.
Oh, and he cuts the grass. That's going to be a 3-second time penalty for sure.
As Max, in fact, lost the back end, so this could work for Try and Catch.
Oh, and Q-Tip
is pitted.
He pits.
He might. Oh, he's going to lose a few positions. He might even be out of the points.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And his team is pitted. This could be double stacking at Williams.
Hold on, Try and Catch going side by side with Wilcox to the 1-2 complex and into turn 3.
Both realised they might.
And Try and Catch got the position. So Try and Catch back into third. Ben Gallagher just moved into 10th because Callum Anderson went in for new fresh set of tires. And I can't believe Q-Tip pitted.
Oh, that might hold them from at least 3 positions. And with the way that these two were going, he could have easily got himself onto the podium this evening. But 14 seconds behind Harry Saunders was his nearest car. Unless anything happens in these last few laps, then
14 seconds to your nearest car. That's a big gap. You're not going to be making that up in 5-6 laps, I don't think.
Unless you gain about 7 seconds. Well, not 7 seconds. 2 seconds a lap for 7 laps. So you're trying about 5 seconds. 5 seconds a lap, and you're just about going to be back at the end in a couple of laps.
Meanwhile, we've got a great battle going on for third spot, and we've also got a great battle going on for 6th. Epic, the animal, getting passed by... Nope, he's taking the spot back. Khalifa and Epic have gone back and forth a number of times throughout this race for this spot. And I gotta say, KCG finds himself in 5th. Maxie's trying to make a move going into turn 1. He's trying to do it again. And he's got it. Oh, try and catch back to the inside.
I think try and catch his tyres are going to be close to gone, but he's still defending this P3.
And really, this. Oh, and look at a move by Maxie Wilcox. Try and catch, switches it back. Unbelievable move by Max to try and make that work. Try and catch, brings it back. But this is all inconsequential.
This is, yeah, they're going to hold themselves up. KCG's only 1.5 seconds behind them now. Well, 1.5 is just turned to now. So
KCG's closing in on this, and try and catch has a 3-second time penalty. So, I mean, I appreciate the fact that he wants to come across the line third, but that's not where you're going to finish. And really, this is great news for KCG, who's closing in on this battle.
The KCG, well, Max hasn't got a penalty from looking at the race directors. And KCG, in fact, has only picked up one warning. That was lap 1 this Grand Prix.
Oh, and here goes Max to the inside of try and catch.
There's a lap car, Forsen wasn't there.
And it looks like Max is finally going to be able to make that work.
I wouldn't say finally, as he runs wide.
And he's got the DRS open on try and catches Renault. So try and catch, going to try and get it back. Swings to the outside, and he side by side, and here comes KCG. And Ben Gallagher just picked up a 3-second time penalty, but KCG's about to be a part of this battle. A 3-way battle for the last spot on the podium.
As Q-Tip picked up the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Very, very nice from the Williams, who did.
And Fozzie Wozzie wisely getting out of the way, letting everybody by. Oh, and KCG, I'm sorry, try and catch gave the little bit of a love tap to Maxie's Toro Rosso.
This middle sector, when you conserve an ERS, both Max and Try and Catch are on medium setting, meanwhile she's running none. So this is going to benefit the Alfa Romeo as Try and Catch run wide. I think he's lost a lot of time in this lap. It won't be long until...
Oh, and Callum Anderson retired. He was running in 10th. That puts Ben Gallagher into the 10th spot.
And a safety car.
Oh, and a safety car has been deployed at lap 25 of 28.
This could see everyone pick a brand new set of softs.
Everybody's going to dive into the pits for this.
Oh, and the roof ran a little bit wide there. I thought he was going to get really close to the wall. But unfortunately not.
What has happened to Callum Anderson's car?
But Nola Famer is risking it. He is risking it on those hard tyres. He starts his 19th lap on those set of hard tyres.
Well, that's never going to last because V. Rita's already coming out of the pits. He's going to have a fresh set of softs.
But he's going to be behind Max and KCG.
Oh, look at this. Max and KCG stay out again.
There's only a couple of drivers trying to catch pits. Harry Saunders has come out. No, it wasn't Harry Saunders. Khalifa, in fact, pitted, but he was on. Like, his tyres were quite over anyway. So this should be very interesting. What can the few people that have stayed out on the hard tyres, can they hold the quicker cars in the quicker tyres?
This is going to be crazy because the other question is when does the safety car come in? Because it's, I mean, you basically have to come in with one lap to go, I would think.
Yeah, I think they'll have one last lap of racing. Because they won't, I don't think they'll start the safety car this lap.
And I don't exactly know where Callum Anderson's car went off. Looks like it might have been the end of Sector 3.
No, well, Delta's just over, DSY Tech's just overtook him. He was in the first sector. So, obviously he's a ghost, is the Haas. But, and
it just said the race control said that the safety car is in this lap, so...
2 laps of racing, and Ben Gallagher's kind of messed that one up. He's 15 seconds behind Khalifa, who's 9 seconds behind Try and Catch. So it's only going to be an 8-car scrap to determine the winner of this Grand Prix.
Well, you know, this is going to be wild and crazy. We don't often see a green-white checker in Formula One, but we're about to get one. Callum Anderson has officially left the session. Nola Fema is your leader. Maxie Wilcox, who's been fighting real hard for that 3rd spot, now all of a sudden finds himself contending for the win. KCG's in 3rd. Rita is going to be the one to watch. He pitted. He's on the soft tires while everybody is on worn hards.
He's in fact scores for it now. Runs very wide.
And we're back to green flag racing and a good jump by Nola Fima. And here comes Rita. And it's a 4-car train heading into turn 1. Already Q-Tip trying to make a move around try and catch.
Harry Saunders overtakes Epic. Well, 2 Renaults. This is a
that's a great move by Harry Saunders. He got around a couple of cars there. Epic the Animal looks like he got the short end of the stick on that one. All the way down to 9th. KCG just got in front of Maxie, and he brought Rita with him, and Maxie's making contact with Rita. And that looked like he was trying to almost pit maneuver him.
I think he tried to say, look, I'm here, and Max. This could help Harry Saunders out massively. Rita's got the fresher tyres, but Harry Saunders should be gaining the free position. Meanwhile,
KCG needs to finish in front of Rita, though, and Rita is all over his gearbox. And I think the other thing here is there's not going to be any DRS enabled, is there?
I don't think there will be unless there will. Surely the Racing Point's going to get this move done.
Oh, to the inside. He's going to outbrake him. KCG swings it back in, and he locked up the wheels, so Rita locks up going into the hairpin. KCG can't get the power back down. Final lap of this race, and Nola is trying to hang on to this. He's got a hard-charging Rita coming after him on soft tires versus worn hards. KCG trying to finish in front of Rita to get the championship points lead. He's not going to be close enough, and Rita almost gets into the back of the Ferrari.
Meanwhile, Q-Tip, Max, both going side by side.
And Rita cuts to the inside. Can't make it work. Nola trying to hold off Rita. He's swarming all around him to the outside. Rita's going to go. Tries to put her power down. And a great move by Rita to take the lead of this race.
And that's surely the Grand Prix win now on the last lap. With less than 2 seconds to go. Surely that is the win.
KCG now going to try and fight for second spot. Unbelievable drive by Rita. And he's already putting out a gap, and here comes KCG. We've got a yellow flag, sector 2.
Oh, and that's a spin. That is Max. He started the seat, then the seat truck came in, he was in P2, and he spun. And he's down in P9. Disappointment for the Toro Rosso driver, and let's try and catch. He spun as well.
Oh, trying to catch was having such a good run throughout the course of this day. But here we go, KCG closing in on Nola's Ferrari. He baits him, he goes to the inside, and there's a 20-second time penalty for severe collision between Khalifa and Maxie Wilcox, and now they're side by side. Nola and KCG side by side. KCG runs extremely wide, trying to hang on to that spot. KCG's going to come across second. Nola third. Harry Saunders with a hard-fought fourth position. Q-Tip is sixth. Epic the Animal, Epic is sixth.
And try and catch is retired.
Oh, try and catch! No! No, you were going to finish a race. You were going to finish a race.
He was weaving to celebrate, and the car lost it. So that's brought him to Khalifa to P8. Max is retired, and that doesn't look too great for the Toro Rosso. Tried to move on Invictus, but it didn't go well. So that means 53 mode should come across in P9 with Invictus, rounding out the points. Well, what an interesting cycling from
that was crazy. That was crazy, and an unbelievable victory by V Rita. Anthony Johnson called it. He said fresh softs on the live chat, and that really worked out. And Anthony Johnson, he's been really good at calling what's supposed to be happening in these races here in the live chat. So he called it. Rita's going to walk away with this win, and he's going to capitalize on KCG's misfortunes. So V Rita will be your championship points leader after this race. So here is your unofficial results as it stands right now. V Rita with a win, KCG with another podium. Nola Fima finds himself in the third spot. Good race for him. Harry Saunders fourth, Q-Tip fifth. Epic the Animal sixth. It's the first time he finishes outside the top four all season. Ben Gallagher seventh. Khalifa is eighth. AB53 Mo is ninth. Invictus is 10th. And then 11th and 12th are DNFs, Try and Catch, and Maxie Wilcox, and I believe Maxie's going to have some explaining to do after this race. Fozzie Wazzie is going to finish a lap down. She had internet issues all day. DSY Tech retired, and Callum Anderson, Chaz Meister, Sippy, and David Wallbank all DNFs after this race. And there's definitely some conversation going on behind the scenes about Maxie Wilcox and his actions on track, and that's unfortunate. I know you know Max and played with him, but a little bit of over-aggressive, some overzealous driving there towards the end. But what a race, nonetheless.
Yeah, good race, even though with a bit of the downwards north with Max at the end of that Grand Prix, but other than that, it was a fantastic race. Very good battles across the field, and in the Twitter chat, Khalifa's just said something towards Max, and I'm not going to be saying that out on screen because this is not a very nice thing to say. But other than that, it was a fantastic Grand Prix. Rita, with the strategy, pitting under the safety car, beat all those other drivers who stayed out and thought that was a good idea. But we go again next week.
I'm really shocked at some of the driver strategies today. I really thought things were going to work out differently. For Ben Gallagher, I think, was one of the sore losers, or one of the biggest losers in this. He had a good qualifying session, but he stayed out too long, I think, under the first safety car. Things happened to come back to KCG. I thought KCG and Epic were going to be well down the running order after that first safety car, and they stayed out. Unfortunately, Epic only going to walk away with 6th place finish today, but nonetheless, he'll retain 3rd in the point standings. So, but as you say, we'll do it again next week. It's been an incredible race. Everybody like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel. This was the HTA RL. That's Hit the Apex Racing League. This is the Assists League, Round 7. You can also check out their Elite League, where the guys run with no assists at all. That's for the big boys, not for me. And yeah, we'll do it all again next week. And speaking of next week, what track is on the list? Austria. That will be an interesting race for sure. Another low drag setup, similar to Spa, so that'll be a fun one to watch for sure.
Yeah, that should be fun.
So I want to thank everybody for joining us today, especially Anthony Johnson. I like reading his comments on the live chat. He's got a lot of good driver information, driver knowledge, and he definitely called it there in the live chat with V Rita switching over to the fresh sauce, and I think even you said it as well. I probably would have at least pitted for mediums, but great run today by V Rita. So guys, be sure to check us out next week. Same HTA RL time, same HTA RL channel. We'll see you guys at the next round.